This handsome mug?
Good.
I'm here today.
Back and forth.
Nice sunshine.
I think that's another course of study, a public meeting.
Had a good conversation with Aaron.
Yeah.
Susan.
Your boss.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like being on camera.
Aaron.
Not so much.
Damn.
I'm her boss.
Okay, wow, it's
Well,
well,
You're here.
Today.
oh, today? Yeah, I'm gonna welcome everyone today. We've had 10 minutes of visiting. I have to ring the bell before I can talk?
Yes.
Who made that rule? I thought
Everything
I
you said
talked
so
for
far.
a little while, then when people were ready, when Paul sits down. Ding. Okay, so welcome everyone. I guess the ding is official start and stop. But let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone will please stand and join me. And I always wait till people stand up. It takes a while. So, okay. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So welcome everyone. Our speakers will be introduced later by John, and of course open to questions and comments and all that sort of stuff. Let's see, visitors. I don't see any other visitors here today, so welcome Rotarians. And it looks like just Rachel on Zoom. Welcome, Rachel.
You're not on Zoom.
I'm not on Zoom, yeah, I could be.
Can you turn your camera around, please?
You don't want to look at me. You've seen me enough. Now, let's see.
I miss your face. It's been days, Lauren.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
There you are.
Get a glare off the top. But anyway, yeah, so welcome. Let's do some announcements. Actually, let me start. I was going to reach out to Doug, and I didn't, but he usually organizes a cleanup day in May. And so I don't know if anyone else would like to maybe step in. I mean, Doug's been traveling, he's kind of busy. It's been a couple weeks since I've talked to him, but cleanup day, May. Who's been number 2 on cleanup? Who is interested in maybe?
What day is the cleanup? I'm not here. What day is it on the budget?
We pretty much pick any day we want, and then we just let everyone know. Actually, get back to me if you want to, and if I have to, I might do an email blast to everyone and see if anyone wants to step in and organize that, and I'll try to get a hold of Doug also. But that was the one thing I had to mention. There's other things, but let me turn it over to Rotarians. What announcements do you have, or do you want to make?
So Saturday is the Goddard cleanup project, so the 21st, Sunday.
It's
No,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Excuse me.
Okay.
It's
So-
Sunday the 21st.
Okay, yes, so Sunday the 21st, Goddard Hot Springs Maintenance. Allen Marine has donated a boat. I believe we depart Crescent Harbor at 8:30, so be there at 8:15. If you can let us know if you're coming, in fact, I hesitate, I'll email Doug and see if we can add any more people in case any YAS people would benefit from going there, but I mean, let's talk between now and the end of the week. But there has been a sign up. AmeriCorps is joining us. I think the JV are going to join us, and then there's a handful of Rotarians going. But it's this Sunday. Boat comes back and arrives at 4:30. So food and water is provided. Bring work gloves. No, we provide work gloves.
Bring work gloves if you want.
Bring,
Anyway.
yeah, kind of wear work clothes, maybe a bathing suit if you finish early, you want to hop in the tub. But it's an annual thing we've been doing, as all of you know.
Also, Fortress's interns are joining you on Sunday, so we're working hard. Thank you.
Okay. And Jay, you gave Doug count?
Dan.
Dan,
Sorry, Dan.
it's all online registration, so
Okay, good,
I prefer not to be on
good. Thank you. How many is it?
that. I think I've got 6 to sign up so far.
Okay,
My
fantastic.
name is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're too old. These are all 25, young, energetic, that will work hard.
You can go too, though.
I'm
But
all
you
of-
can go to and supervise.
Well, I signed up when, came from Rotary asking for sign up, but I put my name there. I wanna make sure that that was, I'm planning on attending, I just wanna know.
Double check with Dan.
I'll check with him.
He's been really responsive on that.
Okay, so that's this Sunday. Thanks for bringing it up, John. Anything else from Rotarians?
I figure I might have, should probably give an announcement about Deanna's bench. SAFE is going to do a fundraiser starting at the beginning of June. I spoke with Zach, who's actually building the bench. He's behind in other benches that he's got before us, but he's looking at the fall. I also just found out that Mary Goddard has agreed to do a hummingbird design to be inlaid in it. So it's gonna be beautiful. If you don't know about it, it's gonna be placed at the Safe Shelter where Deanna spent a lot of her time and inspiration. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.
And for general Rotary knowledge, whatever funds they can't raise,
Yes.
Rotary has agreed to make up the difference, because we're all 100% behind this bench.
Thanks, Lauren.
Sure. Sharon.
President Lauren, fellow Rotarians, yes. Just a reminder, and I'll get something out online too, that the Kids Fishing Day is going to be June 10th. So it's a pretty easy project, but we will need people to help set up in the morning, usually around 7:30ish. We have like the pop-up tents, and we basically just pop them up, and then we zip tie them together and maybe put some stakes in the ground to make sure they don't go anywhere. And we'll have, it'll be from, the actual fishing is from 9 till noon, and then we need people to help take everything down after that. So if anyone is willing to help out with that, just let me know. But like I said, I'll send an email out as well that you guys can respond to. I think at this point, that's about it, unless somebody wants to volunteer. We're gonna get the amounts of food together that we need to buy, because we do, we barbecue hot dogs and have some snacks there for people. If somebody wants to volunteer to go pick those up for us, that would be good. So I don't have to do it, but if not, I will do it. Anyway, so if anyone has any
Is
questions?
fishing game involved too?
Yes, fishing game and forest service. So, I mean, you will have people, but if anyone wants to come by and help out, that's fine. We can always find something for people to do. If it's a nice day too, we'll have like some lawn games out and things like that, so should be a fun event.
Okay.
And it's for kids 4 through 12.
And fish are released a few days before, so they're nice and hungry.
They're already in there.
Oh, they're in there now, okay.
I'm pretty sure. If not, it'll be pretty soon. It's usually a few weeks before, so they get used to the water and willing to,
Eat, take a look.
yeah.
And, yeah, prizes and different.
There will be prizes in different categories, and some of the prizes got here yesterday. The rest of them should be getting here this week. So,
Sounds good. Anything else? We're ready for John, maybe? You've got a few things.
At this nanosecond, the magic number is 685 tickets to go.
Wow.
We'll try and get that done by May 31, which would be our soonest sellout ever with the most tickets. For two reasons. One, we've maintained momentum for 6 years now, and it's allowed us to grow 3,000 tickets in 4 years. And that's a lot of money to go back in the community, which is what it's all about. The other reason is last year we found a sugar daddy who liked what we were doing and gave us $3,000 to add to cash prizes. And let me tell you, that made a big difference this year. I'm courting him again, and it would be nice if I could add one more thing to the reasons we'll see what happens. But the jam is on. We're still taking business sponsorships as long as we have any of those tickets remaining. And buy a book of tickets and get recognized on various forms of social media through the end of the calendar year, not just till 4th of July. So let us know if you're interested. We deliver. Thank you.
And tell us about the wildlife cruise.
Wildlife cruise, this should be Jeff Bubb, but he's off on some boat somewhere. We have thanks to Alan Marine, a second time and first time ever during cruise season, we have a vessel that will accommodate 150 passengers. And that leaves on June 3rd at 3 o'clock, returns at 6 o'clock. It is a varied schedule in terms of fees. It's made to be family friendly so that some of our locals can attend with their kids. And if you're interested, just drop us a line and we'll get back to you on that. And Sharon has the credit card machine that handles those transactions. And other than that, we take cash, checks, IOUs, small children.
Yeah, emphasize family friendly, so I don't have it memorized, but it's like 5 and under free, 5 to 15 is $5-10, something like that. It's pretty family friendly. And yeah, last fall we had a great, almost a full ship, and it was a good time. Saw a lot of animals, a lot of wildlife. Are there any other announcements or community events that people want to remind people about? Okay, I'll turn some time over to John then, and he can introduce our speakers. Camera facing you, John?
Well,
We'll leave it that way, and
you
I can
can
change it.
fix it when I'm out of here, okay. And I should remind everybody, I didn't think about it, but Porch Fest next Saturday. So we'll have Main Street closed and the Arts Festival for the, supported by the Greater Sitka Arts Council. Well, anyway, today it is my great pleasure to welcome representatives from YAS, which is Youth Advocates of Sitka, who will be celebrating their 50th anniversary in a couple of years. They've been here since 1975, serving kids in life transition, I guess. So their range of services run from infants to 23. They have foster care setups and an emergency shelter. They have about 120 clients right now in the Sitka area. They have a treatment facility in Sitka that takes care of kids. And anyway, we're a great organization. They're located on the corner of Jeff Davis and Lincoln Street in the old Sheldon Jackson campus. And it's my pleasure today to introduce Heather Murray, who is the executive director, Heather, and Cara Brenton, who I think will be giving the program. Is that right? Anyway, welcome, ladies, and thank you so much for your service at Sitka. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, so as what John said, my name is Heather Murray. I'm the Executive Director for Youth Advocates of Sitka. With me is my coworker, Cara Brenton. She is developing new programs at YAS currently. She's also our fantastic office manager. An office manager and nowadays does everything from keeping the lights on, keeping the bills paid, and keeping the clients in-house. So I don't want her to think that calling her an office manager is a reflection of what she actually does. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about Youth Advocates of Sitka. We're a community-based nonprofit. We're a mental health agency, and we were founded in 1975. We specialize in providing mental and behavioral health services to youth and their families. Our target population is youth ages 5 to about 23 who are experiencing mental health disorders and concerning behaviors, which may have impacted their ability to function successfully in the home, in school, and in the community. We offer wraparound services, including a level 3 residential treatment facility called Hanson House. That's for youth ages about 13 to 17. And then once youth are over age 17, we have a transitional living program that can house youth that may not have a safe exit out of a residential treatment, or may have aged out of foster care, or who may have found themselves homeless. We can have those youth in our transitional living program to about age 23. We also provide therapeutic foster care for youth ages 5 to 23. And we also have a community mental health program. It consists of outpatient services, that's about our 120 clients we have, as well as school-based treatment with accompanying mental health and rehabilitative services. So our school-based treatment, we call them skills trainers. They're kind of like a behavior health assistant or a BHA. And they're embedded in the schools, and they help youth, mainly our clients, get through their day, usually with anxiety, communication, coping skills. They're kind of like an on-site counselor to help youth throughout their day at school. We're here today to specifically talk about human trafficking. So youth that are homeless, who may have mental health issues, may be suffering from substance abuse, often find themselves as victims of human trafficking. Human trafficking is a form of modern-day slavery that occurs in every state, including Alaska. In 2020 alone, Alaska had reported 20 human trafficking victims. Since 2007, Alaska has reported 98 victims of human trafficking. So it's important to note that human trafficking data is underreported in Alaska due to the geographical uniqueness and remoteness of the state. We do know that there's an increase in human trafficking in Alaska, mainly among the most vulnerable population. The negative impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic has also contributed to a significant role in increased numbers of youth experiencing homelessness, abuse, and addiction, which can make them fall victim to human trafficking. It's also important to note that Alaska Native youth, in particular Alaska Native women, are disproportionately affected by human trafficking. Nearly 45% of trafficked victims in the state are Alaska Native. Individuals who have experienced severe adverse childhood experiences, maybe they've gone through family's gone through a divorce or substance abuse or domestic violence, those youth are more likely to fall victim to human trafficking than other youth. In addition, people from rural communities like Sitka, we're vulnerable to human trafficking because when we have an uncanny characteristic to trust people. So when we go to Anchorage and other big cities, we can find ourselves being more vulnerable to other kinds of victimization, including trafficking, because of our trust. And in fact, Anchorage has the second highest prevalence of human trafficking out of 13 cities in the US, and this was a study done by the University of Pennsylvania. So Anchorage actually is a human trafficking highway where youth from the villages go to the main large city of Anchorage. They may find themselves homeless, they may find themselves addicted to drugs, they may also have mental health issues. So this is a huge concern for youth advocates. Why would we be concerned about Anchorage human trafficking? Well, there is human trafficking in Sitka. This is a known fact. If you walk down the harbor system, it could be a real eye-opener just walking around the harbor, listening and seeing what's going on. Young women find themselves having to perform sex acts in order to remain as crew on fishing vessels or to have a place to stay. When substance use is involved, often these women perform sex acts in order to get drugs in addition to having a place to stay. Some of these women may hop on a fishing boat that stops in their village with the hopes of having a way out of the village and get to the big city of Sitka, only to find themselves caught up in this coercion cycle. The term human trafficking or sex trafficking is just a new word for coercion. Coercion can look like a variety of different acts, such as involuntary servitude, debt bondage, forced labor, or commercial sex. The process of trafficking is recruiting, patronizing, harboring, transportation, provision, obtaining by force, fraud, or coercion. If a youth is under 18, it is automatically classified as trafficking, regardless of consent. For these youth, compliance is not consent. If the young person is over age 18, then it becomes more complicated to prove that it is force, fraud, or coercion. And so I'm going to pass this over to Kara, because she's going to talk about what Yaz is doing to address human trafficking.
Thank you for holding space for us today. To put things in perspective, in the last 2 years, I've actually worked very closely with 5 young women that are from Sitka that were victims of human trafficking. And one of the things that concerned me is that youth advocates didn't have the means to support them in the way that they needed to. So we had to do a lot of advocacy in Anchorage, which is our partnership with Anchorage. And in our response to human trafficking and the young people that are experiencing, that have lived experience of human trafficking, we want to start a new program. So we have been putting innovative ideas together, which is what we came up with Coastal Haven, which I'm sure you're hearing a lot about. We're trying to acquire a facility at the moment. We're very passionate. This is something that I've really been working on for about 4 years now. And we're excited that we're right in the middle of expansion. We really want to broaden the young people that we're able to serve. And in response to this issue that we're having in our community, we would like to open Coastal Haven, which is actually going to fill gaps in the lack of services that our state is currently providing to young people that have experienced human trafficking. Coastal Haven is going to be a program that will provide housing and residential treatment services for young and young adults 16 to 21 who are homeless, at risk of homelessness, substance abuse, marginalization and disenfranchisement, and human trafficking. And all these factors put our youth at risk for being trafficked. So a lot of the young people that are aged out of foster care, that are in some of these smaller villages, we want to provide a place that has an extensive array of wraparound services to person-centered choice to provide whatever type of services that they need for mental health support. Coastal Haven is funded by congressional appropriations, an amount of $2 million for the community of Sitka from Senator Murkowski, and we're very grateful. Coastal Haven will function as an aftercare program to ensure trauma-informed aftercare. These will be services provided to young victims of human trafficking and provide opportunities and resources. So we're really focusing on networking on how we can provide specific services to young people that have experienced human trafficking. It's the services that we need to provide have to be in line with what they need. So we're trying to broaden what we are able to offer. Coastal Haven provides basic needs, immediate shelter, housing, and connecting individuals to longer-term housing and supportive resources with the community, and providing access to long-term treatment and services. This is also the reason that we're partnering with Anchorage and other facilities that have experience in serving young people that have lived experience, because they're helping us provide, there's some services that we can't do here in Sitka, like detox or specific substance use. So basically we're going to be like a step down. A lot of these young people will have been provided services with our partners, and we're like the second step. Our vision is to remove the victims from where they are exploited, away from their perpetrators, to a safe and remote location so that we can use our environmental resources and like the beauty here and how tranquil it is to help with their healing process. So a lot of like the therapy that will be used will be outdoor therapy. We really want to utilize our unique and healing natural environment to rebuild self-worth, gain independence, and connect with a variety of resources and engage in an employment program opportunity. So there's lots of services that we're going to be offering to help them transition into the community, but also to be have the confidence in order to like get a job, you know, how to talk to adults, how to establish relationships that are healthy, and really just transform their lives and make them feel more confident in their own skin that they have. We'll be doing assessments, individual, group, and family therapy, residential care, life skills instruction. We'll have the employment program, case management, and of course outdoor therapy. We would also like to share some things that you can do to help to be involved. As I said before, we are trying to acquire a facility that we can use to develop our new program. And you could support YS appeal to acquire proper permitting, which is a conditional use permit to operate Coastal Haven. You can send letters or emails to the assembly before June 13th, or attend assembly meeting and participate in the persons to be heard. You can write a letter to the editor expressing your support for the Coastal Haven program and support for our appeal for the conditional use permit. And also, there are other things going on in a broader perspective, supporting the HB 68 and SB 66 by getting involved through email or calling local legislators. And I brought the two bills to share just in order for you to see that human trafficking is a huge movement right now, and a lot of people are talking about it, and a lot of people are trying to respond in the way that they can, in the capacity that they can. We are right in the middle of an agency expansion, and we're really trying to actively promote awareness in regards to human trafficking. So a lot of the other agencies that I'm working with right now, we're kind of developing ways to integrate into the school systems, parents, the kids, and we've been doing these like 101 like educational pieces that are focused for each like population of people. So whether it's kids or the parents or teachers, families, in order to have some help and support. There's going to be Priceless and ASHA, which is Alaska Stop Human Trafficking Alliance, and they're helping me develop some ways that we can provide more education about human trafficking in a bigger capacity. So I'm grateful for their help as well. Collaboration, we're just trying to standardize the conversation, change the narrative, make it more comfortable for people to talk about it. It seems like, you know, in our community, everybody has their own opinion about it, but isn't educated about what really is happening and how it's happening and how we can help. I really appreciate everyone here today for allowing us to speak and share some of the things that we're doing to promote awareness, but also to respond to an issue here right in Sitka.
And then over here on the table, we've provided some YAS swag. So that we've got informational cards about what YAS does. And then we also have information about the two House bills that Kara just mentioned. And then some other swag about, there's some informational cards about the Blue Campaign, which is also it's a national campaign to help educate people on human trafficking awareness, as well as some other local meaning Alaskan type oriented swag that talks about human trafficking, you know, mainly in Anchorage, but as you notice, Anchorage is a landing point really for human trafficking, but it starts pretty much in the villages and in little communities like Sitka. So you're welcome to grab any of the swag or any of the information, and we also will take any questions if you have any questions. Please go ahead.
You mentioned that if you walk the docks, if you walk the harbors, you see signs of problems.
Yes.
Is that something the police are aware of, the Sitka Police Department? Are you coordinating on what are people looking for, what's happening, and how are problems being found?
That's part of like their promoting awareness and talking with Sitka Police Department and getting like the the awareness out there, because I think a lot of people are just undereducated about it and not understanding of what is going on. So we're trying to make the conversations more apparent and more frequent.
Also, I'm sure you know Sue Jensen. She has worked with the Harbor Department and the Police Department with posting signs in all the harbor bathrooms. So next time you're in one of the harbor facilities, just take a look at some of the posters that are in the bathroom. So there's kind of like an education campaign we're doing in the harbor bathrooms. We also have them in the ferry terminal bathroom and at the airport bathroom. But they're just like, if you see something, say something, kind of thing. What does human trafficking look like in a village? What does it look like in your community? Because, you know, you see it on TV and it's not really what's happening in the real world. This is happening with, and a lot of it, if you notice, is in the harbor system. Just the FBI is aware of it. They've worked with the Sitka Police Department on actually making presentations, I believe at the Rotary last year. Was that at the Rotary this year? Oh, maybe it was just, it was a Police and Fire Commission, sorry. They have come and made a presentation on, the FBI knows there's human trafficking in Sitka too.
And what should people be watching for?
Well, again, it's this, you have to learn about what's the signs of coercion. If you see somebody who appears to be under 18, who appears to be trapped in a situation where they have no place to go, and maybe they have an adult with them. I mean, it really just depends on the scenario. It's not as blatant and as obvious as TV likes to portray it. It's a little more subtle. But I mean, I personally have seen it in the harbor system. I personally know somebody who got on a boat from a village who thought they were going to come into Sitka and fish all summer, and that's not what happened with her. So it does happen. Yes, James?
Is there a hotline number or something?
Yeah.
If we see something or?
I have all that in a pamphlet of all the ways that we can, there's lots of things that we're doing right now too. We have all these different groups that get together. Like tonight we have one, it's ASHTA, it's Alaska Stop Human Trafficking Alliance, and there's from all over Alaska we all get together, and we've been doing this for a couple of years now, and we, right now we're working on getting a hotline that's just Southeast Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
There's one for all of Alaska, but we're trying to centralize it. There's lots of things that we're working on right now in smaller groups and trying to reach out to people that can help us tangibly. So like tonight we have one, if anyone's ever interested, I have the meeting ID, we keep it the same, it's every Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month. Yeah, and I can provide those hotline numbers.
So what do you hear are the primary objections to the permit that you're seeking? I mean, what are people afraid of? Neighbors, I should say.
So we've tried to get a permit for 2 properties in Sitka in the past, since January. The city is requiring us to get a conditional use permit to use the facility as a group home. And one of them was on Dodge Circle, and the other one's just out on the 3400 block of Halibut Point Road. And in both neighborhoods, the main takeaway has been, not in my neighborhood. We support what Yaz is doing, we support all your good work, but we don't want that next to my house in my neighborhood. So it's been a lot of miseducation of what's happening in our facilities, and a lot of public stereotyping and a lot of public fear that's driving the negative comments we've received. Yaz is not a substance use treatment agency, so we don't have youth that are, we're not providing services to kids who are addicted to drugs. We're a step-down program. They've already been treated for drugs and alcohol when they come to Yaz, because Yaz is a level 3 facility, so it's a step down. That means we don't lock the kids in, they go to school, they have jobs, they function just like every other kid in the community. So there's a lot of just fear and misunderstanding that the kids next door are a bunch of druggies and a bunch of mental health problems. Those are the comments we've heard, when in fact these are just victims. Children are victims, not perpetrators.
And I can't remember in my many years in Sitka of ever seeing a news item about escapees from the local shelters.
Right, yeah.
Causing problems, causing
Yeah.
mayhem in the community. It's usually some of the bar scenes downtown, or maybe the one out Alabama Point Road.
The young people that I'm working with right now that would benefit from this program are very highly educated and driven young women. They just don't have a place to live, and they don't have the mental health needs that are going to help them transition into like feeling confident and being willing to be a part of society and the community. They don't have those skill sets, and they just need someone to help aid in how to feel all right when you wake up in the morning, and just simple tasks too of how to get through a day with normal routine, and then having the resources that they can access on a regular basis, whether it be educational, scholastic endeavors that they have, learning how to talk to employers, just having that dialogue and learning what it is to build healthy relationships. So that's what we want to do. We want to instill skill sets for them to be successful.
And yeah, not repeat victimization, so. Yes, great.
3,300 is out a bit, right? Out of town a bit?
Yeah, it's right before Halibut Point Rec.
Okay. What type of transportation arrangements do you have if kids need to get to UAS or the high school or a job?
So our current residential treatment program for youth ages 13 through 17, all those children are in school. They go to Pacific High, Sitka High. They integrate with your children. They take the bus, just like everybody else does. When they have a job, they either take the community ride. We have free bus passes for them to use. We have adult bus passes and youth bus passes. Plus, YAS has a fleet of vehicles. So when they have like appointments at Search, we drive them over there. 3400 block of HPR has 4 garages. When there's been a little bit of concern about road traffic, but it's a highway, and parking, but it's got 4 garages.
They're concerned about road traffic with all the buses?
Yeah, and just some weird things like parking when there's 4 garages. We're trying to work with everybody in the neighborhood, trying to mitigate their concerns. We're doing the best we can, but we do offer lots of rides. We probably provide about 3,500 rides for our youth through all the programs, because some of the youth, we have after-school programs. So say we pick some kids up from one of the schools and we take them to the Cloud, because we also have the teen center. So the Cloud offers rides to the youth, so they don't have to walk home after school from the Cloud. We can give them a ride home, or they don't have to rely on their parents who may be working. So
We do a lot of outdoor activities too, where we
Yeah.
have vehicles that will accommodate
we do a lot of
groups.
camping, hikes, picnics.
Bicycles.
We have a
Yes.
bike program. Our kids are going to be partnering with the Salty Spoke shop, and they're all going to be working on their own bikes and getting a tool bag. They're all going to learn how to fix up bikes, which is a really good skill, and it's actually an employable skill.
Our young people that are in the transitional living program are all provided a bike to use for whether it be employment or their educational needs.
Any other questions? Oh, Lauren?
What kind of things can a group like Rotary do to help you guys?
Well, in the near future, doing like a t-shirt campaign would be fun. We did do one this year with ASHTA, which is when we all like wore t-shirts and promoted awareness, and we had like open discussion groups for educational components of what human trafficking is and what we're doing to respond to it. We did make a lot of posters, and we reached out to a lot of like there's like these young groups that are anonymous, but there's young people that will sit on panels and kind of talk to you about their experience, and it's really neat. So it's a way to just promote awareness, but also visibility.
Also, if the Rotary is inclined to write a letter of support for us, our appeal to the city assembly for our conditional use permit to operate our program. You could also write a letter to the editor from the Rotary in support of our programs, or our new program we're trying to roll out, Coastal Haven. But yeah, the t-shirt project is also fun. We are going to, once we have our facility pinned down, we're going to start doing a huge educational outreach promotion type awareness campaign that we could probably engage Rotary in at that time. We've been hesitant to roll out this big campaign until we have the facility, because we don't have any place to operate the program yet. As soon as we do, we are going forward with announcing the program. And it's going to be a statewide campaign, because we want everyone in the state to know that Sitka is a place where young people can go to prevent further victimization, and we're going to be a safe harbor here.
So how do you coordinate, for instance, with the other big cities in Southeast, Juneau, Ketchikan?
I've been working with them in a number of different capacities. There's a lot of different groups that focus on specific needs and how we're responding to the young people. So like I said before, we're doing like ASHTA, which is a private group that kind of gets together in response and how to make an action plan of like what we're going to be doing, and we make goals that some of them are monthly goals, some of them are 3-month goals, but then also the agencies do different things. Their response to human trafficking is a little bit different, whether it be the facility that they provide or the mental health services they provide or a detox center, or just like we try to get these private groups together that the young people can be anonymous but meet each other and learn from each other, because when you're with someone that has lived experience, it's a lot easier to talk about it. And just teaching these young people how to ask for help. A lot of the reasons that it is underreported is because the young people are fearful to talk about their experience, not only because of the lifestyle that they're living, but also just feeling shameful about what they've been engaged in. So it's just learning how to have that dialogue be more open and know that there is an array of resources to help them.
And if a person is in the harbor, for instance, and realizes they're in trouble, it might be difficult for them to approach a police officer, for instance.
Absolutely.
Is it made aware? Are they made aware of other channels so that they could come to the YAS office or the harbor master's office or someplace that's more sheltered?
That's why we're trying to standardize the narrative about human trafficking. The young people that I've been working with was really hard. It took me months to get them to admit what they have been through and where it came from, when it started. It's developing that trust, and the relationship with them is the hardest, and in order for them to trust you that you have the resources that they need. So it's a conversation that has to be made more normalized. And that's why using coercion and those types of things is better than just being like, oh, you were sex trafficked. We're trying to make it more a more pleasant thing to speak of, and have the comfort level be brought up so that they are able to come to us and being there to support them in a specific need that they may have.
And the signs that we've hung up in the harbor and the airport bathrooms and things like that, they do have numbers to call. If you're a victim, call this number. And then usually they'll put you in touch with the most closest services, because it's a national number.
I hand out a lot of like little cards that are really discreet. There's little ones that, you know, we just, if I feel like there's someone that may be experiencing something that was impactful in a negative way in their life, I hand little things to them so that they don't feel, I don't know, uncomfortable that I might have noticed. And we have these things set out in different areas too that are more discreet, so that it's something that they can look over and know that there is help available.
Rich?
How cognizant and aware and helpful are the police?
With our programs, I feel like we have a good relationship with them.
Good.
Yeah, I know that they're shorthanded as well, but over the last 5 years that I've worked with YS, they have been very accommodating as far as the needs that we needed them for, so.
Okay, is that the time?
And we'll get close. Thank you so much, you guys.
Heather and
Thank you.
Todd, thank you.
Thanks so much, and, yeah, there might be shy Rotarians that want to ask questions afterwards.
Okay, we're shy yes people.
But, anything else for the good of the group? Yes.
I forgot that on Saturday, Kari and Shannon and John and I got the dictionaries all ready for the third graders, and Shannon is contacting the school. We don't know whether we're gonna be able to go and do a big presentation, or if we're just gonna be able to drop them off. But if we get to go in and give them away, we'll definitely email everybody, so if anyone wants to come participate in that.
What day would that be?
We don't know.
You
She's
don't
just
know.
now talking to them about trying to figure that out. So if we can do that, it's gonna be this week. So watch your email. I'll get an email out to everybody if we do that.
Yeah, and Sharon and I and others will use Club Runner and do those blast emails. So when I first started doing it, I got a little bit of pushback from people, but everyone likes that communication, you know, regular updates. So again, thank you. Next week, Randy Huey is going to be speaking about Sitka Land Trust. So May 23rd. May 30th, the American Legion is feeding us all at the American Legion as a thank you for our assistance with their new furniture and building upgrades. And everyone knows where American Legion, down on Harbor, Lincoln,
Street.
right downtown. And then June 6th is set up for Michael Harmon to talk more about airport construction. So we've got some good meetings ahead. www.sitkarotary.org lists all that stuff. Use it as a resource. Invite your friends. Look at upcoming topics and invite your friends to join us in Rotary. Anything else from anyone? Okay, meeting adjourned. Thanks, Zoomers.
Oh, Heather.
Yes.